Hello everyone! Last Monday I asked you guys and girls to leave comments behind with your speculation, and I gotta say there were some great suggestions in there, so let's take a look, shall we? What if the next expansion focused on Argus? We go there to kill Kil'jaeden and hopefully end the Legion. But at the end of the expansion, when Kil'jaeden is defeated and Argus liberated, the Naga, once the Highborn, allows Sargeras and the rest of the Legion entry into Azeroth. This would make perfect sense given the planning Sargeras is known for, and it is not below him to sacrifice one of his generals. Especially if that general has openly mocked him. Listen to the Sunwell Plateau audio. I love this one, using Kil'jaeden as a tool to lure us all away, and once we return, bam, total war awaits us. Kingdoms in ruin and we need to fix the mess. I especially like the detail about the mocking part, and for those that haven't heard it before, this is what Kil'jaeden says.
The expendable have perished, so be it. Now I shall succeed where Sargeras could not. I will bleed this wretched world, and secure my place as the true master of the Burning Legion.
The only thing that might be a problem is finding a source powerful enough to summon Sargeras into our world in such a short time period. Perhaps they will find a way to harness the power of the Maelstrom. Wouldn't be a crazy idea, to be honest. I'd love to see them have Azshara raise new islands to the surface to make a new continent, using Nebtulan's powers. If Gul'dan could raise up the Tomb of Sargeras, Azshara with an Elemental Lord's power should be able to raise up much more land. Raising up islands would also give us a chance to see Ny'alotha rise up from the deeps, maybe to act as the final raid zone. That'd be spectacular. If they could show that in an amazing cinematic similar to Illidan summoning the Naga, this could be epic. 80% of the world disappeared with the Well of Eternity imploding. To see that all raised up again could be amazing to see old Azeroth again. Okay, I agree with the Burning Legion returning, though here's how I think it will be set in motion. Somewhere, close to Azure Mist for this to work, a portal is opened by a big time warlock. Name a lore-heavy warlock who would summon the Legion. And then Illidan, Alleria and Trellian all come through along with the Legion, and then first on site are of course the Draenei, and then fighting off the part of the Legion that got through. Velen dies, setting Anduin over the edge and on a path to begin training. It's very possible, especially with Velen dying and that being Anduin's motivation, although I also have to admit that this is very random. What's the Warlock's motivation for summoning the Burning Legion? Where did he get the power from, and why was he allowed to create such a powerful portal in the first place? Didn't Velen, with his vision of sight, see this one coming? So there are a couple of things that don't make sense, but especially the part about Velen dying and this being Anduin, his road to leading the Army of Light, could definitely come true. Maybe Medivh returns, since he warned us for the Burning Legion invasion and disappeared afterwards. He is not dead, and in the novel Day of the Dragon, Deathwing states that even he is afraid of Medivh's powers, and he was a huge semi-molten dragon. Medivh was incredibly powerful and one of my favorite characters after reading The Last Guardian and playing through Warcraft 3. However, the story didn't just end there for Medivh. Medivh's son, called Medan, has taken up the role as Guardian, and he has absorbed his father's remaining powers. This entire story has been done in the comics, so it's not strange that you don't know about it, and we haven't seen Medan in the game yet, so it'd be very awkward to place such an immensely powerful character into the story without a proper build-up. All of a sudden, hey guys, here's Medan, have fun with him, that would be crazy. What I could find on the WoW wiki is that Medan could use Holy Light, he can use mage powers like arcane magic, and I also believe he has some druid skills. So to place such a character just into the story and have fun with him would be very strange, at least in my opinion it would. The Dark Below is more likely than a Legion-themed X-Pac, because Anduin isn't grown up yet to lead the Army of Light. The final Titan, Rephion is talking about, is under the sea, and he will be needed to help kill Enzov, who controls the deep sea and is messing with the Emerald Nightmare. Demon Hunter will never be a class. Maybe a 4th tanking spec for Warlocks, if that. Going Back in Time will be an X-Pac, since they wrote a book about it. I'm not sure about the part of killing Enzov, because he is an old god after all, so best that we can do is push him down his prison again. Finding the final Titan underwater and having him help us could be pretty damn cool. Did they make a book on time travel? Because the only one that I can remember is Thrall Twilight of the Aspects. I haven't read all the novels of course, so I might have missed this one, so if you know if they wrote a book about time travel, please let me know. This is my dumb idea, but what if Nealofa was the old gods' homeworld? Truth be told, it's not a dumb idea at all. If you go by the idea that the old gods actually have a home planet, Nealofa could be it. In truth, we have no idea what or where Nealofa is, so it could be anything, even a world where the old gods came from. It's been a while since I played, but on that Adopt a Kid quest, where you have to take that Blood Elf child around, she asks to go to the Caverns of Time, and when you're there, the dragon wardens attack her, but are stopped by the big dragon in the middle, saying she hasn't done anything yet. Maybe she's the one that kills that dragon in the vision? It's an amazing theory, and it's awesome that you still remember this, but I don't think Blizzard will implement it, simply because it's too brilliant. For those that don't know, during the Children's Week you can adopt an orphan and take it around the world. In the Caverns of Time, the orphan nearly gets attacked, but Zaladormu says that she will not be punished for things she might do or fail to do in the future. Another reason why I don't think this will happen is that the same event happens on the Alliance side, so they work for both the Alliance and the Horde orphan, and in truth, I think this is just an event to make Orphan Week a little bit more interesting. I could be wrong though, and who knows, maybe this orphan is the doom that is going to come to the Bronze Dragonflight. Maybe this is the path, the person that is going to make Nosdormu go corrupt. Who knows, but what I am going to do is, hopefully coming Monday, going to do a little video on time travel, and we'll go further into the subject of the Bronze Dragonflight and the visions that we've seen there, because there were more comments about this, about speculation on those videos. Hopefully that video will clear up a little bit more. What if Rephion is working together with the Burning Legion somehow to convince the Alliance and the Horde to fight the Legion in the Twisting Nether to actually kill them? That Rephion didn't want the Horde to survive because he knew when Horde and Alliance team up, they have a straight up chance against the Legion. All he wants is his domain back, and the Burning Legion can provide him just that. He is a black dragon and sided already once with the winning faction. Perhaps it's a part of the entire story. Awesome idea. Rephion just wants everybody to leave his planet alone, doesn't care what happens to them as long as Azeroth is safe. The only problem is that once the Legion is done with killing us, that they will surely come and claim Azeroth as their own. Rephion wouldn't want that, and he isn't dumb enough to believe that the Legion would leave his planet alone, so for that reason I don't see this happening. I think some Heroes of the Storm will return, namely Trevelian and Illyria. They will take care of Sylvanas and Anduin. The Horde and Alliance will face the Naga while returning from Pandaria, and we will battle them for about half the expansion until the Burning Legion returns and we'll have to face them again. I don't see us on the Exodar go where no Murloc has gone before. What the Legion does there? Well, they use the Naga and the Old Gods like they did with the Orcs and the Scourge. It's all very possible, but the one thing that makes me doubt about this is the Legion using the Naga and the Old Gods. For starters, the Legion, as far as the lore goes, doesn't know about the Old Gods. And the Naga, they are already affiliated with the Old Gods. I don't think they can play for both teams, but I could be entirely wrong. I really do like the part about Cerulean and Illyria taking care of Anduin and Sylvanas. That gives both of them a reason to join both factions. Once again, one question. How does Illyria know about Sylvanas and where to find her? How does she know that she is now the Banshee Queen and joins the Horde? And what exactly will her reaction be to that? Interesting to find out, but a very, very good idea. About the South Seas expansion, since we helped Fedazane regain her domain in Kera and got exalted with her, and if we save Neptulan's realm from Old Gods, won't they be great additions to fight against the Legion? They would definitely be great additions, but one problem is that Fedazane, she's more of a neutral elemental lord and she doesn't really like us ever since we killed her daughter. Neptulan would be more likely to aid us in our battle, if only because it's his domain that's under attack. I was wondering if we might see Kaelia Menethil, Arthas' sister. There was never any hard evidence if she died. Indeed there was not, and it's highly speculated, rumored, suggested that she's still alive. My bet would be that she made her way to Kal Taras, which fits in nicely with the next one, which is Jaina could always make Dalaran the capital of Kal Taras. And one strange thing, Kirantor and Kal Taras have very similar letters. The letters are most likely just coincidence, but about Dalaran, what they could do is return it to its old location, which is very close to where Kal Taras is supposed to be. Jaina returns to her former kingdom, and behold, the sister of the one she used to love is right there. This might give Jaina a new reason to live, a new purpose in life, to take care of the sister of the one she used to love, the one that she failed, who died as the Lich King. It could put her off the path of hating the Horde. I wonder what they could do with Kaelia though. Perhaps marry her off to Anduin Wrynn? Noble, I'm a newbie in WoW, but I think if they let goblins take Kazan back, that makes another capital city, and that means it won't be balanced. Horde will have more than the Alliance, so I think if they give the goblins a capital city, they should give gnomes or worgens a capital city back. Big smiley face. Yeah, I gotta agree with this, and I would imagine that to be Gilneas, since that's the closest relation to water, Kulturas, and the other islands. I really wish for the gnomes that they would take back the capital city after so many years, but honestly, I've really lost the hope for that to ever happen in our lifetime. So yeah, as much as I love the gnomes, and as much as you guys probably love the gnomes, I don't see that happening. I think if we get 2 new races, it will be Ogres for the Horde and maybe the Tusker for the Alliance. Would be awesome. We only get 1 new race, which will be neutral like the Pandas. I reckon it might be the Ethereals or maybe even the Satyrs for a twist of event. What do you think, Nabo? I consider the ogres, of course, but I dismiss them because I don't believe that they have a female ogre model into the game. And there would also be the trouble with the doors, with the mounts, with armors. Can you imagine an ogre on the gnome mount, for example? That would just look very silly. The Tusker don't really have a part in the story anymore, not since Wrath of the Lich King, so I'm not sure if that would make sense at this point in the story. Ethereals as a race to play, now that could be very interesting. Their backstory is pretty vague, and all we really know is that their planet got blown up. They did sort of aid us in the Burning Crusade, at least not all of them were hostile towards us, so yeah, Ethereals could be a possibility, perhaps with a starting zone on their broken home planet. Could be cool. How can you forget about the Ogres? They have been part of the Horde since Frozen Throne, yet they still aren't playable. They need to be added, so the Alliance needs a new race. Furbolgs might be a good choice. Are the ogres still part of the Horde? I thought that they left them in Warcraft 3, or did I miss something in the story? The Furbolgs have been known to be able to work together with us, so it's possible as a race, but I don't see it happen. Mainly because they just added the Pandaren to the mix, who look very similar to the Furbolgs. It's even speculated that they share a common ancestry, so yeah, although possible, I don't see it happen. How about this? The Aspects, they lost their power, so they decide to share their knowledge with other mortals, and boom! New elite class is born. Dragon Knights, Slayers, Raiders. One of the spec is for tanking, another uses bows, and the third one is some DPS. This class also uses Dragonkin as their pets. I had a dream that happened. Seriously. I love the way you dream, man. And the funny thing is, there are actually dragons sworn in the WoW RPG, and these characters, they serve the dragons, and in return they receive power and knowledge. I would be thrilled with a actual playable dragon class and dragon race, but I would be happy with something like this. Especially because it fits with the story. The Aspects are now mortal. They want us to guard the world, so why not share their secrets and knowledge with mortal races? Why not enter the dragon sworns and let them rule the world? I would be for this. I like the suggestion of DPS, bows and tanking. But of course there were other suggestions like blue dragonflight are magic users, green ones healing, red ones fighting, something like that, DPS at least, black ones tanking, and yellow ones, yeah, put them where you want. I would love to have a new spec like Priestess of the Moon, an arcane DPS spec exactly like Tyrande Whisperwind. Awesome idea, to be honest. A priest with the ability of summoning images of light, using a bow and melee weapons. For the Horde, they could use the Tauren, their faith in Musha, instead of a Loon. So that would be for both factions, so that's an easy fix. Tyrande has used the light of Mother Moon in a couple of ways. She's copied images of herself, I believe, or at least there were sentinels that were fighting for her. That could be an awesome skill. She has used moonlight to create weapons for herself that they used in melee combat. She's used the moon power to heal, and of course to buff others and actually use it as power. So I would definitely be for this. Could very, very well be a cool class. Come on, what about the Tinkers? This class exists since TFT. Yes, there's engineering as a profession, but it will be more cooler if you not only throw mine or bomb and hope it will do smt, but to depend only on them. And the musician-like class was a joke for April Fool's Day from Blizzard many years ago. This might come as a shock, but Tinkerer was also an April Fool's joke. And besides that, what I was reading up on the Tinker class, to me it's way too similar to the engineering profession to be viable as a new class. Use your engineering skills to create weapons, bombs, destroy your enemy. I, as a paladin, can already do that. It would be awesome, of course, to create a mech suit and fight enemies like that, but then everybody would become a Tinkerer and Yeah, that would be very unbalanced. I'll link a topic that I found on the WoW forums which explains the class in greater detail, and I'll let you guys be the judge. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I think that they already incorporated it into the game with engineering. But that's just my take on it. I think that the new class should really be 2 classes, kind of like what Star Wars The Old Republic did with their classes. Playing the same, but having all the spells have different names and different animations. The Ally, they would have Demon Hunters for the Night Elves, and the Horde would have Shadow Hunters from the Trolls, with Vol'jin being Warchief and all. I like the way you think, and I think it's a very cool idea, but it's also very difficult to implement. For your example, the Shadow Hunters versus the Demon Hunters, they draw their power from different sources and also don't use the same spells and fighting techniques. So even if you place these two for both factions, they would still be very different, and it's very hard to find a class that represents both sides. I was thinking about a different example, and all I come up with is a Shadow Priest and a Holy Priest, but they've already incorporated that into one class. So personally, I don't see that happening, but it's a cool idea, definitely. Ever since the Burning Crusade, where they added Blood Elves, I have hoped they make a Spellbreaker class. I checked this one out on the wiki since I had no idea what this class was all about, and apparently the guards in Silvermoon, they look very similar to this unit, and their signature spell, Spell Steal, has already been put into the game. So I don't see them making a specific class for the Spellbreakers if that was their signature spell. Yo Nobble, I'd love to see a Blade Master hero class. All DPS can only use blade weapons, and I think leather or mail armor, they're not tanking, so there's no need for plate. Blade Master could be cool, but I fear that they would be too similar to the warrior class. I know that you said that the armor would be less, but their fighting styles and their weapons, it would be very similar. Perhaps they could use this as an upgrade class for the warrior. Like I said on Monday, give them a questline and let them become the hero class called Blade Masters. Space Adventures, new playable races in the form of Dragonkin and man-sized Titan constructs. Guild housing a la Draenei spacecrafts, more Old Gods and Burning Legion. Blizzard, you will own the whole of my existence if these are even close to what you release. Revyon goes out and finds the final Titan, who with his powers creates new Titan Keepers, Titan constructs, and they become a new playable race. Awesome. Guild housing, yes please. I really hope for the next expansion that you have more customization options. Being able to look like a Magnafal, a Tonka, or like one of those more pumped trolls would be awesome. Big smiley face. It could definitely be cool for more customization, as long as it makes sense for the lore. For example, a Fel Orc would have no business within the current horde, but the other examples could definitely work. Yeah. Do you think Blizzard would ever do a faction change in-game via a questline? Example, you're an orc who had enough of Garrosh's bullshit. Swap factions. Your Worgen is a bit too savage for the Alliance. Join the Horde. And if you pull the race card, no orc would join the Alliance or no Night Elf would join the Horde. You got several characters who did. Trak High Mountain, pre-Death Knight, Valera, the Human Spy at the end of Rise of the Horde, and so on. I'm not going to pull the race card because you're right, there have been examples and cases where they switch factions, but I will pull the gameplay card. Some people have chosen the Horde or Alliance because they hate the opposite faction, they hate the races, they've been a mortal enemy for 8 years now, they hate them. I must admit that I think it's a great idea to mix it all up a little, especially with the racials that would become available for both sides, but I don't think everyone would agree with that. They would hate the idea of having to work together with a Blood Elf or a human. I remember back in the Burning Crusade where you could choose between the Aldor or the Scryers, and even back then people were like, what? I don't want to work together with them, so yeah, I from a gameplay perspective, I don't see it happening. All those space travel ideas would be more fitting for a possible new Warcraft RTS than a WoW expansion, but another Burning Legion invasion might happen. I also doubt about Hosen and Jinyu joining the Horde and Alliance justified in Kalimdor or Eastern Kingdoms, since Pandaria isn't the base of operations anymore. I hope it would be classic ogres and high elves furbolgs, because they are easy to add into Horde Alliance conflict, which is all WoW is about. And hope we will visit also Bloodsail Island in a Zhara expansion. Smiley face. Now you guys are making me doubt about my decision of dismissing the ogres. Because, well, a lot of people suggest them. Or are they perhaps a big fan favorite? Is that why it's coming up so much? Either way, Bloodseal Island, I had to search Google for this. Do you perhaps mean Plunder Isle, the home base of the Bloodseal Buccaneers? That island only exists in the WoW RPG, which is not canon, but it would be so cool if they added this to the game. For those like me that never heard about this island before, this is the description from WoW Wiki. Plunder Isle is a small tropical island directly east of Kazan and southeast of Zandalar. Its rocky coasts are inhospitable and it has no natural base. The place is covered mostly in palm trees, other tropical foliage and bare rock. A misty rain falls at about 3 every afternoon, but otherwise the climate is warm and sunny. Of the South Seas islands, Plunder Isle is the closest to the mainland. Booty Bay is the closest mainland port to Plunder Isle's northeast. I would love to become a pirate. What also could be in the South Seas expansion, the main pirate island, Plunder Isle, and Mak-Aru, the main city of the Magrura. The best thing about these speculations is to see how much I didn't know that they could actually apply to an island or pirate expansion. The Magrura are apparently the red crabs that you find across the beaches of Azeroth, and they have their own islands, which is pretty damn cool if you ask me. Goblins could do with some love. I mean, Mount Kajaro must have calmed down and they've probably left a lot of swag on Kazan. With Revion's visions, a visit to the Tomb of Sargeras might be a good idea. I don't know why they'd go there though, my knowledge of the Broken Isles is quite poor. I'm just speculating. But most importantly, I just want to know what the hell is on the fable island of Tel Abim and why the bananas are so good. Plus pirates, murlocs, controllable ships. Please Blizzard. Yes, please Blizzard. The Tomb of Sargeras was one of my main things to speculate about in a South Sea expansion. That is, until I did a little bit of research. I thought that Illidan had sent the tomb back to the bottom of the sea, but apparently he just caused the temple to crash, so should we go there, we have a lot of cleaning up to do before we find anything interesting. That's not to say that the tomb might not be interesting though, because in the past, in the WoW lore, there have been several items, very powerful items already claimed from the tomb. Who knows what is left there, what kind of magic from Agewind or demons from Sargeras or his avatar. Who knows, and it could be very cool to see in the game. I just want to thank you so much for that Tel Abim comment. I had no idea about this, and for those that also don't know, the island of Tel Abim is described by a shipwrecked man. A small part is the following. These months have given me time to ponder, to shuffle loose my old beliefs and bigotries. Alliance, horde, good, evil. The meaning of these words, once so clear, now blur as my eyes gaze across the boundless sea. I now know what matters. The bananas are after me. Perched high in their tree, they eye me with cool malevolence. And the last one I tried to eat nearly gagged me. I could almost hear it scream as I smashed it half-bitten on sea rocks. It's war. And I will win it. I want to visit this island of evil bananas. Please let me visit this. Pirate themed WoW, building your own ship, upgrading it with multiple professions like tailoring for sails, blacksmithing for cannons. Also would love to see 4 spec for every class. Yes please, but if we're going to get a 4 spec, please increase my bag space or allow me to store my gear in some kind of window or bank and that I can summon it from. Because if we're going to go for a 4 spec, that means that I would have about 6 different sets in my bag. Please Blizzard, increase the bag space. I hope they will introduce some mail-wearing melee class, swashbuckler or something like that. Wink. Pure melee like rogue or warriors. But not like rogue or warriors because you're a pirate! My vision of it, 2 portals appear. One in Stormwind, the other the Undercity. A note flies through each, one addressed to the king from Turelion, the other Sylvanas from her sister. In each they say they are battling the forces of the Legion of Argus and desperately need our aid. We travel there and are perhaps captured, imprisoned, and in another cell we discover Illidan, who was captured in the Twisting Nether, and he helps us escape, claim a foothold, and eventually defeat Kil'jaeden. While we are off claiming Argus for our own, Enzov uses our weakness on Azeroth to unleash an all-out attack on the world, requiring us to return and take on him, Azshara, and the Troll King in the following expansion. Meanwhile, our actions on Argus call attention to us once more, and result in the Legion attacking Azeroth, and forcing us to repel them, and finally going after their homeworld and their leader, Sargeras. This is my vision for the next 3 expansions. Hope you enjoyed. I actually did enjoy it, and the only thing I could really point out is how would Illyria know where to find Sylvanas. The last she saw of her was back when she was still a high elf, but other than that, cool story, could definitely be used. Okay, here's an idea. What if the next expansion is the Burning Legion, right? Now what if, towards the end of the expansion, Sargeras returns? Total fucking wipe. All of Azeroth is fucked. The Horde and Alliance are in full retreat. You are now playing the story not so much as a hero, but as a refugee. Anywho, the very last patch in that X-Pack we get a big surprise. Rise of the Old Gods. All of a sudden, the Legion isn't just fighting the races of Azeroth, but the Old Gods as well. Think about it. Old Gods versus demons. Epic. I don't know, it'd be pretty chaotic though, but in the X-Pack after that, have it be all about the bias between the Horde and Alliance dissolving, and then calling on the powers of the light in order to bring down the Legion and save the day. Yada yada yada. Though not gonna lie, I like the idea of a space X-Pack better. Not gonna lie, I love your idea, man. I really do. Fuck it, let's just unleash hell upon the world and see who's left standing at the end. Old Gods, Legions, us, fighting for dominion over Azeroth. In the end, Horde and Alliance managed to team up, kick both their asses, we rule this planet, get the hell out. Awesome. I have a good plot twist. The Burning Legion returns to Azeroth with more bigger demons. While the Alliance and Horde joins to fight the Legion, during the fight they trash the entirety of Azeroth. Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Pandalands, Northrend. And with the help, the Alliance and Horde, we fix the Draenei ship, and with the ship we move to another planet, just like Velen and his Draenei have done every time the Legion invaded. And a new story starts on a new planet, but we would be able to go back to Azeroth just like to Outlands from Azeroth, and we have a ruined planet just like Outlands. This would end the World of Warcraft and open new possibilities for new stories, completely new races, classes, and new content base overall. Brilliant. Enter Warcraft 4 at the end of this World of Warcraft as we know it. We have lost our worlds and now it's time to either rebuild on Azeroth or try to find a new destiny out there. Love it. And with that ending, with the motivation to go into Warcraft 4 and Blizzard with plenty of stories to work with, I think it's time to end this Q&A. Thank you so much for sending all those speculations, guys. It was a lot of fun to read. I couldn't cover everything, but I think this should give Blizzard plenty of material to work with for at least the coming years. Like I said, hopefully coming Monday we'll talk a little bit about time travel in World of Warcraft, see if we can do anything with the visions from the Timeless Isle and work with all that kind of things. But that's for Monday. For now, have a great weekend. And until next time, guys, see ya!